Mr. DJ Rose, Verteezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears Radio. We back in the building. Sunday night football, Sunday night everything. You know what I'm saying? We back around and we doing it again. We got Season C's, Verteezy, man. How y'all boys feeling?
What's good, people?
Yeah, man, we back, man. It's been a long week, man. It's Sunday, man. We just finished watching the Sunday night football game, and it all happened in a week, fellas.
It all happened in a week.
This week in sports. So, the No More Black Tears podcast, we covered Kyren Lacy when, he committed suicide earlier this year. And, we gave our thoughts on it. And it was reported this week from his lawyer and other videos that been posted all during the week that the car accident that he was basically accused of causing, which gave him the manslaughter charge as well as the hit and run, it was found out that was false. He had nothing to do with the accident. There was video evidence showing that he had nothing to do with the accident. There was video evidence showing that one of the police officers from that department, coerced a witness to say that, it was Kyren Lacy who did it. He still did commit suicide, unfortunately, but this has brought up a lot of different discussions and issues surrounding, him being charged with these crimes and, unfortunately, his death. Cease, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation, especially when, things happen after somebody's death. I don't know what happened with the situation with his family, where he was accused of shooting at them or shooting them and then running off. But to have evidence always retroactively come, it goes to show you it's a cover-up within the department. And I understand why a lot of people are upset, because it's like, you see the footage, he might have hit somebody. I don't think he did, but, the whole case is like, just pinning on him. Did they know who he was? I don't think they did. I just think it was wrong place, wrong time, and they pinned it on him. Shout out to his former teammate, man, the transfer from LSU that's on Miami. I want to say it was Miami, right? Anybody else see that?
Nah, come on. Nah, I didn't see that.
It was a transfer at Miami that shouted out. He said, "Hey, this is for you." But shout out to you, man, for doing that and speaking on that situation. But I mean, you hate to see it, because it's like, despite what he did, and what happened, things could have been different. Maybe things could have been different had he not been accused of this thing, with that 78-year-old man, which he had nothing to do with. So I mean, hey, man, departments, police, y'all got to do better, man. Lawsuit pending.
Cease, what's your thoughts on some of the conversations surrounding, the accusations that led to him? Like, people basically talking about it when he was accused.
It's one of those situations where you got to put your foot in your mouth. Like, you were wrong. Admit you were wrong. It's fucked up. I mean, people can say anything. It's like, these YNs, these young players, they did this, they do that. It's like, yeah, he might have did some bullshit. He just didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't, drive off in an accident where he ended up killing somebody. So, I mean, hey, man, you're wrong. If you're wrong, just admit it. It's like, hey, I talked a lot of shit, but I was wrong about this one. So, I mean, hey.
Yeah, they can take back their words, but he can't take back what he did. So he was still wrong in my eyes, because no matter what You don't take your own life, man. Don't be a quitter, man. I say this all the time about people having hard times, this and hard times that, and they just want to quit. You grew up playing football, so obviously when you was playing football, when things didn't go your way, you probably quit too. But I just wish, I just wish that the police could have did their job better than this, because I can't wait until his family files that lawsuit for wrongful death, and they should be able to get something out of it, out of the situation, because if he had really had nothing to do with this accident and they targeted him just because he was driving fast down the road or in his shiny brand new Charger, that still ain't right. It still ain't right, because he ain't deserve to be charged. But I'm not giving him the pass because the pass for him quitting. But he shouldn't have never been charged if he had nothing to really do with it.
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts, man. The first one, this is just makes a tragic situation even more tragic because he committed suicide because this is a young man who felt like he failed himself, failed his family, and everything he had hoped for was down the drain and gone because of a decision. Just for us to find out that he was not wrong, that he had did nothing wrong, and that this was basically a systematic situation where the police department basically created a narrative that he was involved in this accident because they might have saw him driving a little reckless early on, but he did not cause the accident and he drove off. Also, and I mentioned how we talked about this. I mentioned how our podcast had covered this topic. Covered his death. We did not cover what happened to him in terms of him being, accused of this and charged with this. And one of the reasons why, and I'm gonna speak for myself, but I think the other guys at the table feel the same way. I really don't like talking too much about accusations. And I really don't like talking about people downfall, man, because I remember Dave Chappelle said, a coward rejoices when someone fails. I don't like really discussing topics where it's like someone got arrested for such and such, expect like I don't. Did we even discuss when Glorilla got arrested in Atlanta? And if we did, like, did we discuss it with any severity? Because that's not something I really like try to promote on the podcast. Where we're talking about Black people who get in trouble or stuff like that. And I think this just shows something in our culture where we're so quick to jump on people, man. And I know C's might appreciate this. It just reminds me of that Spider-Man quote where Green Goblin said to Spider-Man, they'll cheer for you, but you know what they love more than a hero? They love seeing a hero die trying, seeing a hero fail. And I think sometimes when situations like this happen, we got to have more grace, more understanding. Because at the end of the day, let's say it was true that he did cause this accident. This is a man that's 21 at the time, maybe 20 at the time, sees. He made mistakes. Everyone at this table is in their 30s or 40s. And God forbid if we all got judged for the mistakes that we made. And I'm just very saddened at the fact of something that wasn't even a mistake by him made him feel so bad to the point where he see all this stuff on social media. Because there was a lot of people on social media clowning him, calling him stupid, coming down hard on him for for what they thought was a decision he made that could have contributed to him killing himself. And then the last thing I want to touch on this before we move on is, man, so many times Black people try to tell white people that, man, systematic racism is real. Like it really do feel like this invisible hand for a lot of Black people, where it feels like there's this invisible hand trying to stop Black people from being successful, trying to pull Black people down, trying to put Black people in a messed up situation. Because for you to have nothing to do with an accident, but for a white police officer to try to coerce, witnesses, especially a white woman, to put in a statement that you did it, I feel like this happens every day in America. And me and Rose was talking about before the pod. It's sad because this ain't nothing new for a lot of black people in America. A lot of black people in America are put in situations where they get accused of stuff and they get convicted of stuff they didn't do. You see all the time, police officers will nudge witnesses when they do a lineup and say, well, number 5 is the one we think did it or whatever. And then the witness would be like, well, I don't really remember. But if you say number 5 fits the profile, I'm going to go with that person. And honestly, I could talk about this all night, man. I feel like that's what I want to take away from this is there's a system in place that's designed to hurt black people, and we got to keep that in mind. And the second thing is when we online, we got to have a little bit more grace with when people fall down and fail, how we react to that. Because there are some people that are strong, like someone like me and Rose, and we can take that criticism, but then there's some people that, man, they succumb to it. And unfortunately, man, this is a young man who took his life. And like I said earlier this year, this is someone who had 30, 40 years still to live in his life. Moving on to something that's not as tragic, but still sad for a lot of fans. What were some of y'all thoughts for this past Saturday in college football?
A name that hasn't come up in a while, man. I didn't think I'd see his name. Penn State, UCLA. Got to remember, they are now. I don't even remember. Is UCLA in the Pac-12 still?
I think so.
Basically, they beat Penn State, man. Penn State's been on a downward spiral. Currently at number 7, they're about to fall down even further. Lost 42-37. Nico,
they in the Big Ten.
Big Ten, sees.
Big Ten. Why? Why the fuck? Why?
More money, probably.
Nico, number 9, Nico, man, had a pretty good game, man. A name I didn't think I would see again this season, really. They're 1-4, man. This is one of their highlights. This is probably their best game this season, man. One of their highlights. They took down a big one. They're not going to do anything else further, but this is a knock to Penn State. Downward spiral. Another one I got is, man, Texas, man. So with Texas, they were supposed to be the big bad in the SEC, man. Lost to another one that's going down. That's no one expecting anything from Florida. Another one, man. What's up with that shit? And then my last one, I'm gonna say Virginia, man. Virginia's hype off of their last game. They just took down Louisville overtime. They're 5-1 currently, so ACC, you gotta play them. Hey, this is gonna be those. You see where Clemson's fucking up. I don't talk about Carolina. We're not gonna discuss that. But Georgia Tech, maybe if you got to play Virginia, just hopped up to number 24. You might want to watch out for them. And then for my last one, man, I want to say Oklahoma. I know at first of the season I was like, I don't expect anything from Oklahoma. That's another one of them. Watch out. Be on the lookout for them, Oklahoma.
Yeah, man. For me, the two games that I kind of thought was interesting this week, Miami beating FSU. You highlighted that game last week, C's, and it's kind of like, as a Georgia fan, it's kind of almost depressing to watch Carson Beck, who we had such high hopes for at UGA, play so amazing with Miami, man. He had 4 touchdowns this past week. He took down FSU, who I think was ranked 13th. Miami is just continuing to show that they're a very talented team. They're a very serious team. They're a contender, and they're the cream of the crop in the ACC. Carson Beck is kind of solidifying his Heisman candidacy, as well as potentially for a lot of scouts that he should be a first-round quarterback, if not a top 10 quarterback. So I feel like Miami is definitely in a situation where they could be one of those final teams standing. And then the second game was Texas Tech and Houston, a game I highlighted earlier in the week that I thought was, interesting to keep eyes on. Texas Tech handled Houston pretty handily. And this was a Houston team that was going into this game undefeated. Texas Tech handled their business. They're showing that, hey man, they belong as the cream of the crop of their conference. Well, they was ranked number, I think, 11 going into this game. When the new polls come up, they'll definitely be in the top 10. And I'm gonna say this, and that's what makes this playoff so interesting with 12 teams, because we're going to get a team like Texas Tech that normally wouldn't have a chance at a national title. If they continue to win, they'll probably get into that top 12, and they'll have a chance to compete against some of these teams like a Alabama, like a Georgia, like a Ohio State, like a Miami. So I'm just really fascinated really with the teams like Texas Tech, those teams that are between the ranks of 12 and 25. How well can they do the rest of the season? How far can they climb, and can they solidify themselves, especially when we get to the conference championship week, man? So those were the two games that I looked at and was like, yo, that's showing me something.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with number one. We haven't talked about them all pretty much that much, but Ohio State handed Minnesota the business 42-30. I mean, 3. Even if it was 42-30, they still handed them the business, but it was 42-3. Yeah, and I told y'all ninjas. About Texas and Florida. Man, people ragging on your boy Manning, but he's still young. But they ragging on him though. I know I was Juice Man came over. We was watching the Bama and Vanderbilt game in the first quarter. I said, man, I can't watch this no more, man. I can't watch this. He said, why not, man? I can't watch Alabama play. Only time I watch them play is they playing against Georgia, but I just can't watch them play. Turning to the Florida game and Texas game. It was interesting the whole game, man. It was a wonderful game. Wonderful game. And shout out to the shout out to Colorado and Dion. You know what I'm saying?
So what they do?
They 2-4. They ain't did nothing again. Shout out to them.
Did they beat BYU?
Man, they ain't beat nobody, man. TCU put their hands on them. They put a hand on Dion said, man, I think I got more blood clots. He beat him so bad, he got blood clots now. Now he got to go to the doctor tomorrow, man. That's a shame. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. But, man, Clemson beat Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Why you ain't mention that game, C's?
I say I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, man, but they beat the dogs out of them. Like, man, North Carolina ain't did nothing all season, boy. They 2-3, but both of them 2-3. But we'll see. I think they still got a conference championship. So the best team will win in the ACC. But man, SEC is different, man. SEC is different, man. That's all I gotta say, man. It's different, man. Shout out to Ole Miss and the boys, man. Shout out to Mississippi State, man. Shout out to doggone Florida for doing their thing, man. Shout out to Georgia for beating up against Kentucky.
Yes, you're right about that, man. The SEC is completely different, man. Like I said earlier in the week, man, the SEC is going back to its prime, man, when it was head and shoulders the best conference in college football, man. You know, as far as games going into this week that I'm looking forward to, man, you just talked about Ohio State versus Illinois. You know, Illinois is ranked. It's going to be interesting what they do. I think these are two Big Ten teams. You know, what can happen? Can Illinois be one of the teams that actually show us a formula to beat this Ohio State team? Because I'm not gonna lie, watching this Ohio State team, they look better than they did last year. If we take out the postseason now, let's just go there on the regular season of Ohio State last year. This regular season so far, we've seen from Ohio State, they look better than they did last regular season. Now, when the postseason came, Ohio State cranked it up. So it's going to be interesting. Can they get to them kind of heights? You know, do they have that kind of talent at the quarterback position? The quarterback's playing well. Like Julian saying, he's playing awesome right now. He's playing at elite level. Jeremiah Smith is doing everything that we want him to do, that we knew he could do, and that people thought he could do. So it'll be dope to see like can they keep this up, and then next Oregon versus Indiana. You know, these are two teams that are ranked. I think Oregon's ranked like number 3 or 4. Indiana's ranked like number 7 or 8. So these are teams that are close in ranking. We saw what Indiana did last year in the college football playoffs. Like they had a great regular season. They only had, I think, one loss. But a lot of people, what was the thing? A lot of people said was, well, they didn't have no real impressive wins. Well, like I said about Ole Miss, this is a chance for Indiana to get an impressive win against Oregon. Because if Indiana loses this game, I just wonder if the committee is going to feel comfortable putting Indiana in the playoffs again, not being a conference champion after how they performed last year in the playoffs. I feel like they need to get a good win like this under their belt so that the committee, when it comes playoff time, if they don't win their conference, will feel good about putting them in. Because to what you said, Rose, the SEC looks so good. Man, it's going to be hard to leave out because there's going to be some teams in the SEC with 2 losses that's not going to make this tournament, y'all. And it's going to be hard to leave them out for a school like Indiana with 1 loss. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, so you're talking about a team with 2 losses. Let's go straight to the Red River rivalry. Y'all know what that is, right? I know C's know what that is.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma, Texas. They played this week.
The Red to get in that ass too.
The Red River rivalry. So we go start there. We go start there with the Red River rivalry. Now also, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Them boys are back. Them dogs are back. You know what I'm saying? Who we playing? We got another rivalry. The oldest rivalry in the South. Georgia versus Alabama. I mean, Auburn. Auburn's in Alabama, but it's not Alabama, but Georgia versus Auburn. You know what I'm saying? That could be the game of the night. Georgia. Y'all, those games are always good. Georgia out Auburn. It's always a good game. So we're going to see that. And shout out to Georgia Tech, man. I think they should be higher than number 13, but keep them right there for now. We'll move up some more. Shout out to TJ. What's up, man? What's up, bro? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? And also, like, South Florida and North Texas. That's just a Friday game, so something to do on Friday. Shout out to Juice Man. That's his birthday. Shout out to Juice Man. South Florida 4-1. They're number 24. North Texas 5-0. So something to watch on Friday. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Desi Banks supposed to be in the guts on Friday too, but we ain't playing no funny games. You know what I'm saying? C's to C's, man. What you got?
Piggybacking off of that, man. SEC, man. We got 4-1 Bama, 5-0 Mizzou. Mizzou was one of them teams that came in early. When they came in the SEC, they were like fucking scary. Niggas was like, damn, who the fuck is Mizzou? Came from the Big 10 or Big 12. I forgot which one. This is one to look out for. It's a lot of SEC is like it's like a fucking seesaw. You don't know who to look out for, man. It's surprising that we still got undefeated teams in the SEC, man. I think that's one to look out for. That Bama, Mizzou. Another one is Pitt. You got a 3-2 and FSU 3-2. Guess what? Maybe somebody ranks up out of this, ranks up or ranks down. FSU versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is no slouch in this. Another one I got Oregon, man. Oregon versus I want to say Indiana this week. Yeah, Indiana. Both teams 5-0. One to look out for. I like what Oregon's doing this season, but Indiana might be the one to take them down. Finally, and then my last one, you already spoke on Oklahoma, Texas, but I got 2 more, man. Let's finish. Before I end it, the last 2, but we got one of your favorites. Let's see, can a quarterback from South Carolina do something against LSU? LSU's only got 1 loss so far. Let's see how they do. And then my last one, this is probably going to be the game I'm really trying to watch. 7:30 p.m. We got a 4-1 newly ACC team, USC, that's Southern California versus a 4-1 Michigan. Michigan has been one of those teams that have consistently been actually decent, man. They've been decent, very decent, pretty good. I think USC is going to win this one, but hey, We talking about a ranked 15 Michigan versus an unranked USC. They're probably one of the top two contenders inside the ACC. So this is going to be a big game for them. Man.
Cool. Moving on to Thursday Night Football, we have the Eagles, who just coming off for a loss from the Broncos, facing the Giants, who had a big win against the Chargers last week. C's, what's your thoughts on this game? My only thoughts on the game is Eagles, y'all gotta get y'all passing game going. Like, to me, the Giants is a cupcake team. They're the team that you use to practice, man. So, like, for the fellas who need a comparison, you got the bitches you want to fuck and a bitch you practice fucking on. So all the moves that you need to kind of master, you use on that bitch. So when you go to the bitch you want to actually fuck, you can actually hit it with that right stroke. Because like with the Eagles, y'all got to find out how to get the ball to AJ Brown consistently. This is the week y'all got to do it. Y'all got to use the Giants for practice. As far as the Giants, your only concern, if you're a Giants fan, if you part of the Giants organization, Jackson Dart. Just making sure he continues to improve and get better. Hopefully, that's the future of your franchise. He looked good week 1. Well, the last week when he played, he didn't do so well this week, against the Saints, which is surprising. I thought he would probably murder the Saints because they've been the worst team in all of the NFL. So all you want him to do the rest of the season is just continue to improve and continue to grow. But Eagles, man, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, goddamn Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Nick Sirianni, because you're the head coach. In the words of Rose, hey, y'all come here to the table.
Yeah.
Moving on to last week in the NFL, y'all. Any games from last week that y'all want to talk about? Sure, I'll start. I'll start off. So, the Commanders and Chargers. I'm not gonna lie, that game surprised me because the Chargers had looked so good this season. Outside of that hiccup against the Giants, well, let me put it like this: I thought that Giants game was a hiccup, but for them to come back this week against a banged up Jaden Daniels and only put up 10 points offensively, with the way they've been looking, I'm questioning that team now. For that defense to give up 27 points to a banged up Jaden Daniels, man, I'm impressed with Jaden Daniels. But, Jason Crockett McCurry, the rookie running back, man, he looked so great today. He had like 110 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Like, he was killing it, with the Commanders. As much as I want to give him credit, Brian Robinson Jr., could we watch that Thursday night game, me, Rose, and C's? You fucked up, buddy. You should have stayed with the Commanders because the running backs for the Commanders are having a pretty good season. You could have had this season and potentially got paid because the running back right now, JCM, he's looking amazing, man. Like, I'm definitely impressed with him. Jaden, you are showing that you can play hurt. This is what you have to do in the NFL, Jaden. You're going to have to play some weeks hurt. You're not going to be 100%. You came out this week, you played injured, you played hurt, and you played well enough for your team to get the win because they needed a win this week, man. So, shout out to y'all. Y'all did a good job. And then Vikings-Browns. I don't want to even talk about the game because don't nobody care about neither one of these teams. I just want to talk about 2 players. Dylan and Gabriel, you played well. I said on the pod last week you wasn't going to play well. You played well. You had like 200 yards passing. You had two touchdowns. You didn't have no turnovers. You played a clean game against a defense I respect. I respect the Vikings defense. So we'll see what you do going forward.
Shout out Brian Flores.
Shout out Brian Flores. So we'll see what you do going forward, Dylan. You held off Shador for another week. I'm not rooting.
I think he's gonna start. I think he's actually gonna start.
Now Dylan's gonna continue to start, man, until he starts playing back consecutively. He's gonna need at least 3 bad games before they go to Shador. But, I'm not rooting against you, man. I just think Shador is a better quarterback than you. But you look good this week. Secondly, Justin Jefferson, you started the season off slow, but the last 2 weeks you proved what I said on the podcast before the season started. You're quarterback proof. Like, everyone kept feeling like Jamar Chase was a better receiver than you.
Well, everybody, it was me. I know I did. No, I didn't say he was a better receiver. I just felt like his backup was he probably had a better chance to do better.
Oh yeah, nah. I'm not talking about people who felt like he would be better fantasy wise.
Yeah.
I'm talking about there was people online that thought Jamar Chase was a better receiver, and there was respected.
People said that?
Yeah, there was respected like forums like I don't know if it's Sports Illustrated or Barstool, but when they was ranking receivers, there was a lot of places that had Jamar Chase as the number one receiver in the league right now. I never felt that way, Justin Jefferson. I always felt like I've been watching your whole career. You put up numbers regardless who was at quarterback. And the last 2 weeks with Carson Wentz at quarterback, you went over 100 yards. You got a touchdown last week. You had like 110, 120 yards with 8 catches, man. Like, hey, man, you the best receiver in the league, man. That team going to be sorry. You just keep doing your thing, man. Keep on balling out.
Keep being Randy Moss reincarnated. Man, shout out to the Tennessee Titans, North Memphis. They ain't in Memphis, but they beat the Cardinals. Shout out to Cam Moore. Finally got his first win. He ain't throw no touchdowns. He threw a pick. But shout out to that Memphis mental health awareness. Man, shout out to the poster child, Calvin Ridley. Because he had to take a mental health break when he was in Atlanta. But he showed up this week, just like Justin Jefferson did. He showed up this week. He had 131 yards receiving, man. Shout out to him, man. Mental health awareness. He's one of them Bama bums. Man, talk about Bama bums. Tua, get lower. And Bryce O. Man, they put up a game. And Bryce O won. Man, Tua, man, it's time for you to retire. It's time for you to retire, man. If you can't beat Bryce O, who can you beat? Who can you beat? I don't care about Tyreek. Ain't no. He was there for the first 3-4 games. You ain't throwing the ball. So now all of a sudden, Jalen Waddle's on the team now. I forgot Jalen Waddle was on the team.
And ain't that crazy? Jalen Waddle went for over 100 yards and had a touchdown?
Yeah. Where he been that all game? And that's your boy.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Man, shout out to the Buccaneers, man. Man, because our quarterback from Tampa, that's what he said. He said, I'm from Tampa. That's where our quarterback say he's from. If y'all don't know who our quarterback is, Michael Penix.
He need to play like that nigga from Tampa, bro. Where that nigga that's in Tampa.
Yeah. And he from Tampa. We're going against the Bills next week. Man, so what we gonna do?
And who's stopping the Bucks, man? That's the question. Who's stopping them?
Man, they gonna win. I already said they gonna win the division.
You did.
But man, shout out to Baker, man. He and shout out to and Baker Obuke. Shout out to him.
Gotta be nice.
Yeah, man. Where the foo at and everything, man. Bring some play.
Man, Cowboys Jets, man. Y'all get one game, man, and y'all hype everybody up. They're like, oh, they're the best team right now, and they play. It's like it's enough for that one game, man. They're saying Dak's playing great right now. It's the Jets, man. It's the Jets, bro. Come on. Broncos. Surprise.
But Dak been playing well all season.
But is it enough? It's the Jets, bro. It's the Jets.
You mean, is it enough for the Cowboys to be good?
Yeah.
Nah, they're going to be bad.
They're going to be 1 or 2 players that always shine. You know what I'm saying? Ravens, Ravens you got an injured player, man. It's disrespectful, man. Raiders, what the fuck is going on with the Raiders, man? It's a lot of shit behind the scenes, man. The Colts, they have a team like the Colts come in and whoop their ass, man. Giants, Saints, worst team versus one of the other worst teams. Lions, Bengals. Lions are unmatched, man. Just recently this game we just watched, man, just live. Bills Patriots. Bills. Josh Allen, he's running too much, man. He's running too much. He's gonna get injured. Shit is fucked up, man. I see injury coming for Josh Allen. Running out the pocket way too much. It's a lot of shit going on, man. It's a whole lot of shit in the league, man.
Yeah, man. As far as this week goes, the two games I'm looking forward to, Rose hinted on it with the Falcons. Falcons versus Bills, man. We just saw Sunday Night Football. We just saw the Bills lose to the Patriots. And, you know, they was able to run the ball on them boys. Falcons, they show you the formula, man. The Bills don't have a receiver you got to be worried about. Their defense is not scary. Give the ball to Bijan. I repeat, give the ball to Bijan and Drake London. Those are two players you should be giving the ball to. Give it to your best running back. Give it to your best receiver. We are 2-2 coming out of the bye week. We got a chance to be 3-2. We got to stack some wins, man, to try to catch the Bucs because the Bucs don't look like they're going to lose that many games this year. As far as the Bills, and this could be the best week of, you know, the best game that Josh Allen has all season. Like, this could be the game that single-handedly gives him his back-to-back MVP trophy because, man, the way our defense has looked throughout the entire season, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, we might not have no answers for Josh Allen and the Bills offense, man. But, you know, I'm looking forward to that game, man. I'm hoping my Falcons can show me something because if we can beat the Bills at home, that'll be a huge win for us in Atlanta. And then, secondly, you know, I talked about Dylan Gabriel, how he played today against the Vikings. Man, you got the Steelers this week, man.
Easy win.
The Steelers defense is about as good as the Vikings defense has played all season. So, Dylan, you know, try to stack another good game. We'll see what you do. Even if you play bad, the Browns is not going to hold it against you because they kind of expect you to play bad against a defense of that caliber, man. You know, so just go out there and just play carefree and just show what you can do. But as far as the Steelers go, man, hey, man, me and Rose was talking earlier tonight, and we was talking about, man, are the Ravens done because they look so fucking bad today without Lamar. And I told him straight up, nah, because the Browns is the Browns, the Bengals don't have Joe Burrow, and the question is, can Aaron Rodgers play like he's been playing the entire year of the season? And so that's the question. A-Rod, can you continue to play this well? And this is a game you have to win. You have to beat the Browns. You have to beat teams like this consistently throughout this rest of the season while a team like the Ravens is losing, don't have their star quarterback. Because I'm telling you, if you're only 2 games with the lead, when Lamar comes back, you might not win the division, bro. Because Lamar can run off 9 straight wins just because he's that fucking good. This is a quarterback who's won 70% of his career starts in the NFL. So we'll see what the Steelers do, man. From a talent perspective, defensively, they're still a top team. They got DK. Calvin Austin has emerged. You know, they had a running back last week that's on one of Rose's fantasy teams. He played for the Eagles last year.
Gainwell.
Yeah, Gainwell. He was amazing last week. We'll see what he do, you know, the rest of the season. And then Aaron Rodgers, you're still a respectable quarterback in this league, man. You're not top 10 no more, but bro, you're better than half the quarterbacks in this league. You're still a top 15 quarterback. At least I hope so.
He better than Shador?
Yeah, he better than Shador. You know, he better than Shador. So, man, go out there, man, and beat this team, man, and stack these wins, man. So Mike Tomlin can finally win the division. It's been a long time since the Steelers won the AFC North.
Yeah. Talking about Baltimore, man. You know what they're facing, right? They're facing them big, dirty Rams, who should have beat the 49ers on Thursday Night Football.
Why they should have beat the 49ers?
Because they should have kicked the field goal or played another play.
Shit.
It's like they just gave in. Like, here, give it to him. He fumbled already. Let's just give him the ball again.
The coach said that gave him the best chance to win. The coach said that gave him the best chance to win.
Man, the coach said, man, I picked the wrong play. That's what the coach said. Coach said, I picked the wrong play. I shouldn't have gave it to him. I was going to go for it, but I shouldn't have gave that ball to him.
The nigga who fumbled twice.
Yeah, I shouldn't have gave that ball to him. That's what the coach said. But I'm pretty sure the coach ain't gonna give him the ball again if it come down to it. So the Rams coming off a tough loss. So Baltimore coming off a tough loss too. So it was like Baltimore go down.
I don't know if tough is the word for that loss that the Ravens had today.
Yeah, it was a bad loss. But Baltimore can't go down 1-5. 1-5.
Nah, they can.
Man, they go down 1-5. They ain't not making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs, man. I don't think if they do, they're gonna break records because they're gonna be the first team that ever did it.
I'm telling you right now, man, they can go down 1-5 and still make the playoffs.
Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We put it on the pod right now. Put it on wax. We put it on wax right now. We put it on wax. And also, man, shout out to Cowboys. You know, J Rock the Gift. Did you buy tickets for you and your daddy to go to the game? The Cowboys at the Panthers in Charlotte. J Rock the Gift. Y'all got tickets to go to the game? I hope so. Also, 49ers and Bucks. Both of them 4-1. That could be the 4 o'clock game of the day. That's going to be a game to watch. I think that's going to be a game to watch. And I'm going to leave everything else to seize.
I was going with that one, man. 49ers, Bucks, both 4-1. Bucks, man, 7th in games, points per game, man. But guess what? 49ers have more passing yards per game. That's going to be a good one. Bucks coming out on top on that. And then, man, Rodgers, man, Pitt. It's an easy win. It's an easy win. There's no challenge. There should not be a challenge with this game, man. It should not be a challenge at all, man.
C's 2 words. Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I got 2 words. Did anybody say Kansas City next week?
Shit, who they play?
The Lions.
That's gonna be a scary one because it's Kansas is coasting.
And this getting blown out, dog.
They coasting. They're literally coasting. 2-2 versus a 4-1 strong Jared Goff.
Nah, the Lions gonna beat that ass, man.
Thanks. Is that bad?
I have not seen nothing this season to make me feel confident in the Kansas City.
38-21.
Even though they beat the Ravens last week convincingly, Lamar missed a portion of that game, man. And I'm just not confident, man.
I'm calling 38-21.
Who?
Lions. 38-21 Lions.
Well, you just said what he said.
Exactly. Lions gonna win.
And one more season. Can you talk about the Bears and the Commanders?
Bears, Commanders.
1-2 from last year. 1-2. And
3-2 versus 2-2.
I'm talking about draft picks.
Yeah. The number 1 draft pick versus the number 2 draft pick. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, that's gonna be an interesting game just for the simple fact of you got Caleb against Jaden. And both and right now, if you're a Commanders fan, you're happy you took Jaden and that Caleb wasn't there. If you're a Bears fan, even the most optimistic Bear fans have to be a little skeptical about is Caleb the guy? He's played better this season, man. But I ain't gonna lie, I kind of feel like Caleb
hasn't been enough.
Nah, it hasn't been enough for that team. I feel like Caleb, he has to play great against the Commanders for a lot of those fans and even the people in the organization to feel good about that pick. Because, bro, we've seen Jaden, not just this season, he did it last year when he came back from the rib injury, if y'all remember. We've seen him play hurt and play good enough for him to win. So, you know, that's going to be a key game, man. So shout out to Rose for pointing that game out.
And then what about the champs versus their rivals, Eagles, Giants?
Man, that ain't gonna be a good game. Eagles coming off a bad loss that they should have won this game against the Broncos. They gonna show up and show out because you also got to remember this is Saquon old team. Saquon ain't done squat diddly all game.
And this gonna be
sugar, honey, iced tea. He ain't done sugar, honey, or ice. He ain't had no sugar. He ain't had no honey. And when he goes to the restaurant, he don't even order iced tea.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Saquon liable to go for 200 yards this game, bro, rushing. That's how bad he been this season. He hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game all season, man. I picked him in prize picks today just thinking to myself he was due one. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna probably double down to that game, and whatever his ultimate demon is, I'll probably pick it just because it's the Giants, bro. Remember last season, he almost had his career high against the Giants last year,
and sat out.
and sat out like what, the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yep, and he didn't play the last game of the game against the Giants.
Yeah, and he could have broke the record against the Giants, man. So man, he liable to go for 200 yards, man. That ain't no game, man. Like I said earlier, that's the hole you practice fucking to fuck the hole you really want to fuck.
Man, all them hoes the same. F all them hoes.
Hey, final thoughts, y'all.
MLB baseball kicking off. We got 4 games coming up on Wednesday. On Monday, we got 2 header to header. I was watching top of the 6th, Sanchez. Fucked up. You really fucked up. I seen the change. They scored. You let them come back, man. Dodgers took that first game. Brewers handing the Cubs an ass whooping, man. And as I said, the Blue Jays easily are going to handle the Yankees. I don't see them coming back at all. Any time of year to watch baseball, man. This is the time of year. Shout out to Asia Wilson, man. She just had her what was it? Fuck. I had it on my mind. It was real quick. Most points ever in any half of a finals game during her career, basically. That's what she had. So Asia Wilson continuously getting better and doing big things in the league.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Asia Wilson, man. Shout out to the dumb NBA because it says dub, right? They dumb. Like y'all have a second game of the dumb NBA Finals on a Sunday night, on a Sunday at 3:00 when week 5 of the NFL. How dumb are y'all? If you want to have a game, you can have games in the fall. Have it on a Tuesday, back to back, go to a Wednesday, but you don't have it on a Sunday. That's the dumbest thing I can even think about. And y'all knew what it was when y'all made the schedule. It's only the second game, so it's not like to be continued or to be determined. Man, and you wonder why nobody want to watch that. We don't want to watch some boys play bad basketball on a Sunday when you can watch everybody play good football or bad football in the NFL.
So even the worst game of the night is better than the WNBA final. Yeah.
NFL's king, man. It's October 5th, y'all. And, I just want to say something real quick, so please, just be a little to me. I remember watching House Party 3, and I remember, somebody saying, we used to call you Lockjaw. I remember watching Friday, and I remember someone acting like they was a pastor or preacher, and, the lady next door. I remember watching Don't Be a Menace Society and somebody playing the cop and talking about how they had everything black from Whoopi Goldberg to Wesley Snipes to, Black Pepper and stuff like that. Players Club, someone being a janky club promoter and saying, you do what I tell you to do, to Jamie Foxx. Head of State, a movie that starred Chris Rock but had another comedian that was like the side character in the movie, and there was a scene where he was slapping motherfuckers as he was coming off the train, and another scene where he was saying, I know a nigga named Nato in my neighborhood. I don't know what Nato you talking about, but I know a nigga named Nato Jackson. And I also remember watching a movie called Bad Center, as well as, a movie before he passed away with Samuel Jackson. I'm talking about Bernie Mac. Today was his birthday. He passed away well over a decade ago. He was one of the kings of comedy. And, to this day, he's still one of the top 5 comedians in my top 5, man. Bernie Mac was just a different type of funny. Like, the Bernie Mac show was one of the best shows of all time. If you had a privilege to see his stand-up was hilarious. And for those who have watched his movies, man, he always brought something to each role from a comedic standpoint. I could name 10 other movies he was part of where he might have had a small role, but you remember the role he had in the movie. Because some of the movies I named, he was only in the movie for 10 minutes. He wasn't even the star of the movie. But he had some of the funniest lines in the movie, man. So, definitely, man, shout out to Bernie Mac, one of the GOATs of comedy, man. In the words of Abby and Rakim, peace.
Gotta. Mr. DJ Rose, Vert Cheesy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. For sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.